as a quality captain and rally your friends and family to join you and attend the event as well. From what I've heard, we have really great speakers. We're bringing out a whole range of speakers and performers as well. I think it'll be a great event for us to come together and reflect as a community before we head into November. And we'll definitely send you out the information after this event for you to get involved as well. So really thank you for that. With that, we have around 15 minutes. Definitely want to open the floor to questions that you've been typing in the chat box. But before that, if you want to know more information as well, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and we have our main website, hrcchicago.org. Any further questions, please contact us at corporate@hrc.org. So with that, really thank you, Lindsey and Justin, for your time, giving us a brief background and context of the national and local landscape. So let's open up the questions to the floor. And I know you've been typing out the questions in the chat box, so let's go through them one by one. Cool. First is from James. Regarding jury selection, so you mean to say a lawyer can ask a potential jury member if they are gay, lesbian, or trans? I think that's probably for Lindsey.
So yes, you absolutely can ask, and you absolutely can discount jurists as a result of their answer. This has far-reaching implications, especially as we talk about the right to have a jury of your peers if you're on trial as a queer person, and you're also having to deal with anti-queer prejudice as a result of a fully not queer jury, which was designed that way. Then you're not getting the fair trial that other folks are getting. And so, although it does seem like I think it's the one that people ask the most about, it does seem to stand out a bit. It is really important, and there are some instances. They're very old, thank goodness, but there are some instances of folks getting higher sentences as a result of their LGBTQ status, and clearly as a result of the fact that there was no one to advocate for them on their jury.
Thank you. Next question is from Craig. Will these slides be shared? The Equality Act slide is a good visual for those who may not understand the full implications of that legislation. Yeah, thanks for pointing out, Craig. Yeah, definitely we'll share the slides, and we agree as well that this would be a good resource for all of you to share with your ERGs or with your friends and family. For those who still don't understand kind of the implications, wide-reaching implications of the current landscape and what Equality Act can do for different people in marginalized groups. Thank you for that observation. Next question is from John. Employment was always the lead issue for discussions regarding the Equality Act. Since the Bostock, can it still be a leading point for discussions on the Equality Act?
So I think you're absolutely right, John, that leading with employment doesn't make as much sense now as it did before, particularly because it's an area that we do have now some newer protections. It also may be important to mention that Bostock didn't fix this issue, especially around employment, but it probably isn't the best lead off anymore. We may want to shift to other areas where those kinds of federal protections definitely don't exist yet. It's typically employment, housing, and public accommodations that are the big three at the top. And those are the things that state legislatures have been having conversations about for a long time. And so, yeah, I would bet that we push down that list a bit. But as I said before, because state level protections do offer better opportunities for compensation than federal law does, and it's a much longer, more costly process at the federal level, it is still important for us to try to get these protections across all states the same.
Thank you. Next question is from Craig. Do we think that the nomination of Kamala for VP changes those enthusiasm numbers?
I sure hope so. We definitely haven't had polling done yet. You'll forgive us. It was pretty recent, but it does seem like, I mean, the amount of Act Blue donations that the Biden page got after the announcement, just the excitement, the number of viewers last night, I think it's a very good sign. I'm excited, and so I think other folks are excited as well. And when we talk about the importance of representation, we often talk about the importance of queer representation, but just getting to see the sheer number of folks who are seeing themselves in Kamala this morning on Twitter, and really having a moment in getting to see someone be at such a high level politically who reflects us, I think is beautiful in and of itself. And so I'm hoping that we can ride that wave a little longer. Not that Joe isn't super exciting, but Kamala definitely upped it for me a bit.
Next is from LT. From MC, is the LGBTQ community data gathering via the census new? They don't remember seeing it. It's privately sent to me somehow. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So the information about the census won't be collected this time. In the past, the census has included questions. It's only evident if you are partnered and you live in a partnered household, and only if you are in a recognized union. And so, yeah, that was one of the very first things that the Trump administration announced that they would be doing, was removing the identity question from the census. Yeah, and it won't be done again for 10 years. So it's going to be a while before we can fix it.
Cool. That's so far the questions type. Any other new questions everyone has, feel free to just voice them as well.
I will just say further to what Justin shared about the congressional races, those two pickups, Lauren Underwood's race and Sean Casten's race, were some of the key pickups for holding or for getting back to majority in the House. And I think everybody sees them as super important for us holding the House. And both of these folks are tremendous allies to our community. We worked very closely with them in 2018. They both voted for the Equality Act. They both advocated for it behind closed doors. Lauren spoke at the HRC Chicago Gala and was wonderful and gracious. And Sean is a big science geek, but he also cares a ton about the LGBTQ community. And so these aren't just two folks that we want. These seats are seats we want to keep blue. These are true allies and friends, both to the LGBTQ community and to HRC. And Betsy's race, although they are rating it right now as a lean Republican race, I think it was the 8th closest race in the country. There were less than 10 races that were within a 1% margin, and hers was one of them. And she's running again, and she's running again in a year where nothing is predictable. And so if we were able to pick up another downstate race, I think that would be tremendous for all of us, but it would be especially tremendous if we were able to walk into Congress next year and push for the Equality Act with 3 strong new allies for the Equality Act.
Awesome. We have a few minutes left. I guess I know any other HRC committee members who have anything to plug. Tori, Byron, I know you chatted something in the chat box as well. Cool. Don't or anyone, just any questions. Don't feel shy. This is really appreciate your time taking out of your lunch to come join us as well. So. Cool. Yeah, any last thoughts, Justin? Lindsey?
I just want to say thank you again. I know how much Zoom is reaching from all of us. And I am so grateful that you all spent the time with us today. This is such an important election. I cannot stress enough how unpredictable it is. And I live in a really, really rural community. And so I was terrified in 2016 in the lead up to the election, while many of my peers and colleagues were feeling pretty confident. And I just have to tell you that I am seeing all the same terrifying signs again in rural communities. Rural white communities are sort of my forte. That's where I live. And I have to tell you that they've not lost fervor. And so we cannot afford to get complacent in this election. I know things look great. And if that makes you feel good, we all need a boost right now, and you should take your happy news where you can get it. And we cannot allow the same thing to happen as we did in 2016. And we really have to leave it all on the table. This election is one we're going to talk about for the rest of our lives, and folks are going to ask, what did you do in this election? What did you do in 2020? And I need my answer to be everything I could. And I think that for all of us, we're going to have a much better future and much better stories for our children if we do not get complacent in this election. We cannot afford to lose. We cannot afford to lose this one. The trajectory of the Trump administration has continued to plummet, and there will be all new manner of nonsense if this is allowed to continue. And so I'm so grateful for your time. I'm so grateful for your energy and attention. I hope that you'll carry this forward and help us win in November, because we absolutely, absolutely have to. And I am not confident that we are where we need to be today.
Thank you so much, Lindsey. I think no better way to kind of close the session. And
yeah, thank you, Lindsey.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to echo that, and hopefully, you know, one of the ways you can help spoke to you, you know, or more. But yeah, apply to vote by mail, or, you know, make your in-person plan. Yeah, get to know the candidates, volunteer, donate, you know, download the team app. Just, you know, a few actions that you can take, and reach out to us about anything, any questions, any thoughts. Yeah, we're all in this together. So thank you.
Yeah. So anyone else, anyone in the audience, any last thoughts as well? Feel free to chat. But definitely, before kind of this year as a corporate committee, I know people are from all walks of life, from corporate ERGs, who are people who kind of have their own nonprofits. Definitely feel free to reach out to us for any support we have. You know, we give presentations to your ERGs, to your nonprofit, to your community, and we can give you the resources and advice, kind of how to rally and organize your organizations as we kind of go through the last leg of the year in 2020. So really thank you. And we'll follow up with all the information before we reach out to Lindsey, me, Justin as well, right after this. With that, really thank you all for your time. Really appreciate all this. And it's good to see everyone here today.
Thank you.
All right, let's do this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.